Alrighty, let's go talk to Mr. Rocksmith. Oh, I forgot to get my water. We've been expecting you. You're the Crossbell Police Department's Special Support Section, correct? We are. Is this the President's room? Yes, I've been instructed to let you pass. Please make your way inside. Thank you. Pardon us. Can't believe we're about to meet the President of the two largest nations in the continent. You said it. Even I've got butterflies in my stomach. Yeah, hurry up and walk in there. Find out. Excuse me, Mr. President. Dear Mr. President, tell me what to do. These suckers acting up in the hood. Send more troops. We were told you requested to meet with a special support section. Thank you all for coming. But please, no need for all the pomp and circumstance. Go ahead and have a seat. Sure. Very kind of you, Mr. President. My invitation must have come as quite a shock to you. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your own busy agendas for this. Though I imagine you must be very busy yourselves. Oh, no, not at all. It's an honor just to be in your presence. You're Speaker McDowell's granddaughter, isn't that right? We met once before a celebration of sorts, if I recall correctly. That's right, we first spoke back when I had an opportunity to visit Calvard with my grandfather. That was 2 years back. Ah, yes. Now I remember. You know, I was surprised to hear your grandfather chose to take up the post of Speaker instead of seeking re-election. I truly admire how passionate he still is at his age. He's a model statesman, if I may say so. I'm sure my grandfather would be flattered to hear that. Not to change the subject, Mr. President, but what was it you called us here for? Well, truth be told, I've already heard all about you SSS fellows from Killica. This year's Swords auction sounded like quite the affair, wouldn't you say? Frankly, former Speaker Hartman and I were never on the best of terms. Selfish as it may seem, I've been eager to meet the group that tipped the first dominoes that led to his downfall. We're honored, sir. Yeah, but real talk, we didn't do much. Guy just couldn't stop shooting himself in the foot. Very true. He made his own bed with the day he became involved with the cult. Ah, yes, who could forget them? The DG cult. The D triple dot G cult. Their treachery spread across the entire continent, but no nation was more affected than my own. I owe you my thanks for putting a stop to them once and for all. You're welcome, but really, we were only doing our jobs. Honestly, I'd say your contributions didn't really amount, or our contributions didn't really amount to much in the long run. No need to be so humble, my boy. I heard things were rather dire, even your guardian force was being manipulated. Yet in the face of it all, you still managed to quash the cult and keep that little girl safe. Great goddess in the sky, those are no small achievements to speak of. Wow, you flatter us, Mr. President. Truly, I'm not sure we deserve such high praise. Oh, but you do. Had Crossbell fallen to the cult, I don't know what would have become of us. Actually, that would have been a very interesting story to tell. If those dastardly villains took a hold of the IBC, International Trade and Finance would have come to a screeching halt. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you how severe the consequences of that would be for our economy. It's true. All the more reason I'd like to acknowledge your valor. I think the fitting thing to do would be to award you each a medal. Yes, that sounds perfect. I'll have the arrangements made as soon as I return to the Republic. No, you don't have to do that. Is it even appropriate for citizens of Crossbell to receive awards from the Republican government? Besides, we already got more recognition than I could handle from Granddad McDowell. Truly, I don't see any faux pas to be had about it at all. Your troubles are your own as well. After all, the Republic does hold Suzerainty over crossbow. Again, don't know what that means. Mr. President. Now, keep your faces like that, and they'll stay that way. You received an invitation from our friend the Blood and Iron Chancellor too, did you not? I would be delighted to speak with you all more, but I think my turn is over. Not to fear. I'll see to it that you receive those awards we spoke of. Keep an eye out for them, all of you. That conversation was incredibly pointless. I was hoping for something a little bit more insightful, and that was just him saying, let me recap everything that you've done already. You know what? Let me give you a medal for it. Thank you for visiting. You can find the Chancellor Osborne's room at the very end of the opposite wing. Right, thanks. We appreciate your help. You're welcome. Farewell. It was something, wasn't he? Exactly what I expect from a major political figure. Capable and devilishly cunning. Could you at least wait until we're not standing in front of his room, lazy? To be fair, the president never made much of an effort to hide it. I doubt he was intentionally trying to place pressure on us, but that doesn't change the fact that he did. I think he was trying to keep up appearances more than anything. As Calvard's president, it would be good publicity to honor the ones who were credited with resolving the cult incident. Not to mention, he said that Crossbell's troubles are theirs as well, which reaffirms that he sees Calvard as Crossbell's rightful owners. Man, you telling me that that was the whole reason he called us in there? These big shot leaders got egos as wide as their country's borders. Without a doubt, even Diet members from an autonomous state like this have nothing on them. We still have to speak with the Chancellor. What do you think he wants from us? Couldn't say, but we're probably going to want to brace ourselves either way. This was 2002 to 2005, or 2017 Eminem. There would have been a different kind of rap addressing the president. The lyrics that I quoted were from Tupac. A track called Letter to the President, I believe, off of the one of the Outlaws albums, I believe. Let's see what you two are up to. Good to see you again, SSS. Did you have a status update to make? Nothing to report for now. What about the two of you? Have you learned anything? Fortunately not. Things have been quiet thus far. We're exhausting every avenue on the Erebonian side of things as well. But unfortunately, neither the nobles nor the reformists are intent on giving us any leads to work with. That's unfortunate. A big goose egg from both imperial factions then, huh? They seem like real peaches to deal with. Yesterday, Prince Olivert mentioned the possibility of creating a third faction, didn't he? It's been on my mind ever since. If you wouldn't mind, Major, could you tell me more about his intentions? Ellie? Well, it's only natural you'd be curious. I'm not supposed to say much, but I don't think there'll be any harm in sharing a bit with the SSS. To put it metaphorically, you could say that Prince is attempting to shatter some long-standing barriers. Barriers, huh? That's something we're all too familiar with. Basically, there are irreconcilable differences between the noble and reformist factions. But that won't stop him. He aims to have the two come to terms anyway, as absurd as that sounds. The prince is trying to get the reformist and noble factions to reconcile. I underestimated his starry-eyed idealism. Isn't the divide between the two sides as wide as Gorelia Canyon itself? Wazy, don't be so rude. He's absolutely right. Still, the prince has committed himself to dancing toe-to-toe with a monster, despite how ludicrous it may appear. He's fully aware of what people call him behind his back, a showy, debaucherous bastard prince, whose only concern is his leisurely wants. Let them talk. I've decided to stand by him regardless. I see, that's very admirable. The prince will always have an ally in Laburo, Major Mueller, just as Princess Claudia has stated. We may not always be able to intervene directly, but we'll assist you both in any way we can. Thank you, Senior Captain. I'm truly grateful. Prince must truly be loved to have so many valuable allies. I don't know if I go that far, but there's no question that he has a certain effect on people. Still, the best thing that could happen today would be the trade conference ending without incident. That is the objective. We'll be counting on you if the situation calls for it, Special Support Section. Alright. Suzerain, a sovereignty or state having some control over another state that is internally autonomous. I see. It all makes sense now. This means I could take the elevator down now. Eminem was invested by the Secret Service for a reason? Oh, you mean like investigated? Probably what you meant. I think wasn't that more in recent times? Wasn't that because of his BET cipher? And yeah, Tupac made some certified classics. Well, that's not saying anything new. That's true. You know, you don't have to say Tupac made an impact, because just saying the name Tupac is a pretty big impact in of itself. It must be the Chancellor's room. The intermission will likely be over by the time we're done speaking with him. We should take care of anything else we need to do beforehand. Yeah, like go into these rooms. See if there's anybody we want to talk to. This will be a good conversation. I see we share the same hopes for the bright men and women that will one day lead our people. Indeed. What's truly special about them is their hearts and minds, so pure yet fertile, like a garden basking in the morning dew. That's why more and more of... good afternoon, Special Support Section. Care to join in on our chat? Sure, if we're not interrupting, that is. What were the two of you discussing? His Highness here happens to be on the board of directors for a prestigious military academy in Erebonia. We were just discussing the finer details of his duties. The board of directors? Those would be the individuals responsible for how the school's operated, correct? Darn, that's one heck of a side gig. It's just one of the many schemes to get my name out there is all. I think the mayor here has contributed far more than I have. You're involved too, Mayor Croy. He simply meant as a business partner. The IBC is the Epstein Foundation's benefactor, and it just so happens that the foundation is part of the major test being held by the Academy. Really? I had no idea. That does remind me. I've heard that orbital network tests have begun in the Empire. No surprise the continent's largest bank has clout in every country in some form or another. Quite right. I dare say our little talk today was preordained by the goddess herself. What do you say to being a guest lecturer at the Academy one day if the opportunity arises? Though I'll have to warn you that faculty-student relationships are strictly prohibited. The way you say that almost makes it sound like you're encouraging it. An amusing fellow like yourself must be quite popular, Prince Olivert. I may just have to steal you away for a night of drinks once this is all over. I'd love nothing more, my friend. We'll have a rousing good time, you and me. Looks like His Highness and Uncle Dieter have really hit it off. I'll say, I guess they have more in common than I realized. Yeah, they seem like they would have a good time. You think it happened with with Bush because of Mosh, and Trump because of the BET cipher, like I said. Because of Mosh. I don't remember Mosh. I have to listen to that one again. I'm sure I've heard it. It sounds familiar. All right, here we go. Let's hope that the talk with Osborne is at least more interesting than the talk with President Rocksmith. And if any conversations with Osborne, let me rephrase. Since all the conversations with Osborne tend to have some pretty good stuff involved with them, whether it's just on the side or major conversations, I feel like this one has to live up to expectations. Like, there's no way it's going to disappoint. You're the SSS, correct? From the Crossbell Police. His Excellency is expecting you inside. Don't keep him waiting. Right, pardon us. Practically exudes arrogance. Classic Imperial Army, overbearing as all Gehenna. Excuse us, Chancellor Osborne. We received word that you wish to speak with a special support section. Do come in. Magnificent view, isn't it? It's fascinating to think that mankind built a structure like this to look down on the world below. These walls in which we stand are proof that we finally attained glory and the ancient civilization once held. So they are. Are you referring to the ancient Zemurians from over 1200 years ago? Everything I've heard about them makes it sound like they more or less had magic at their fingertips. Theirs wasn't necessarily a utopia, mind you. During last year's Liberal incident, a large floating city appeared over the kingdom. That city was constructed before the Great Collapse, yet was sealed away by human hands. It was a symbol of mankind's potential, as well as its hubris. Our potential and hubris? You seem to be very well informed, to be a very well-informed man. Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything. As far as Crossbell is concerned, I haven't discovered nearly as much as that priest Joachim Gwenter did. How do you... It's what we don't know that lends weight to the affairs of the world. If you had everything in the palm of your hand, life as we live it would be helplessly mundane. Wouldn't you agree, Wazy Hemisphere? Oh, so you know of me. Or do you? I get the sense my name is the only dirty little secret of mine you've uncovered. That would simply mean that you have none worthy of capturing my attention. That's a giga flex right there. No, my interests lie far more in the realm of the War God, more specifically his successor. Yeah? The Imperial Intelligence Division. Their ability to gather information is second to none. Where are my manners? I'm Gileath Osborne, representative of the Empire of Erebonia. I've heard much about you from Lecter. Care to join me for a friendly chat before the intermission ends? Well then, Chancellor, what is it you wanted to discuss with us? You already seem all too aware of everything that's happening right now. No need to overthink it. This is nothing more than a civil conversation. There is something I would like to hear your opinions on, however. Our opinions? Yes, I'll be frank. How long do you think your precious Crossbell will last? Yes, see? This is what I'm talking about. Osborne he just knows. He just knows how to talk to people. You know, all menacingly and stuff. Bit of a loaded question, isn't it? On the contrary, I bear no ill intentions. History tells us that no political entity can last in perpetuity. And that's discounting the Orbital Revolution, which has accelerated all aspects of the contemporary world. How much longer can a land as contested as Crossbell withstand the coming turbulence of this era? I'm not sure. Forever, as long as there are citizens in the state who will have the will to protect it. Well, true, little matters more than having a solid will, a resolve, one might say. There are rare instances in time when trends are bucked and the course of history itself is changed. The people are never truly powerless. I don't doubt the potential their resolve can hold. Then you agree. But consider this. What happens when two opposing resolves clash? It's simple. The lesser of the two would be engulfed, fanning the flames of upheaval hotter still. Now suppose those born fires were to emerge again and again across the land. The integrity of morality itself would be smelted in the searing heat until the world itself was ablaze. Such a phenomenon would surely be easy for you to imagine, would it not? I can understand how Crossbell's resolve might seem lesser compared to that of the Empire or the Republic. But even a small flame is capable of burning bright. It's not a foregone conclusion that the larger will engulf it. Just as it wasn't when Liberl repelled the Imperial Army. Ooh, exclamation point. That's right, it was 12 years ago during the 100 Days' War. Well played. Resolve is ultimately a question of tenacity. Liberl was small but tenacious. It overcame the shambolic effort the Empire put forward. There is much Crossbell could stand to glean from that moment in time. However, I remain unconvinced that Crossbellans hold the same pride and conviction that the people of Liberl do. I'll leave things at that. Our intermission is coming at a close. It almost slipped my mind. Don't expect any medals from the Imperial government. This guy is he's too good. He's too good. Nobility grows even more irksome when awards are given to commoners. Oh, man. So, there's been multiple instances in this game so far where they have done like references to the Cold Steel games, or at least I've picked up on references that can be picked up in the Cold Steel games, and I haven't mentioned anything about them, but I have caught them, just letting you know out there. But I feel like Osborne right there really said a lot more than like he would normally say. And it's kind of crazy that he went into such depth right there regarding, like, I don't want to say what will happen in the future, but like his outlook on things, because that's super crazy, super crazy. I wonder if that also was something that might have been edited, or something like that, because they would have to be like really forward thinking to do that. Oh no, dead is such a swear word. You wonder whether they would have censored passed on. Did someone say dead? I don't remember a dead. Consider yourselves fortunate. I rarely see His Excellency in such an agreeable mood. What? Seriously, is that what you call it? He seems to have taken a liking to you. I understand that it may be a tough pill to swallow, but I suggest you accept what he had to say, though perhaps it isn't my place to tell you that, given my position. Roll up. I haven't read that part yet. Sorry, I'll get there. That was horrible. The man's a monster. Either way, we can't let it get to us. We have to take his perspective at face value. Hey, Tio, you okay? Yes, I'll be fine. The imagery he invoked was a little too vivid. I got lightheaded, was all. I can't blame you. Even I could feel those flames he kept talking about breathing down my neck. Calling the Blood and Iron Chancellor a monster is putting things lightly. He believes he holds the whole of Crossbell in the palm of his hand. Maybe, but I'm not so sure he called us here to torment us, believe it or not. Same goes for President Rocksmith. I think the interest they've taken in us is genuine, for better or worse. Let's take it for what it's been, a learning experience. That's one way to look at it. Maybe it's because I've already had interactions with Osborne that, like, I can kind of read into his words more. Whereas President Rocksmith, you know, I haven't played a game with him. I guess I don't want to say like I guess being like a supporting cast member or something like that. So I'm not all too familiar with, you know, how to read his statements, but his conversation just felt so pointless, whereas Osborne's conversation felt so ominous and like threatening. And I think we could all take a page out of your book once in a while. No kidding. Leave it to Lloyd to make a near empty glass half full. But he's right. There's no way we can let this slow us down. Of course not. What we should do instead is have it propel us forward. In any case, that's probably like the 30th in any case. That just about used up the rest of the intermission. Let's head back to Dudley and report on how our meetings went. Okay, 4:30. Mosh was one where Eminem talks about dead presidents, and the word dead was censored on all versions of that album. Encore, even the explicit version still censored it. Oh wait, it was We as Americans, not Mosh. Okay. But do you know if it was Eminem that censored it, or if it was something else that censored it? Because sometimes things are censored for, like, by the artist for like artistic reasons. Like, for example, oh no. Dang it. There's a Tech Nine song. Sorry, we have to take a brief break here. I believe it's his cipher. Tech Nine Strangulation Cipher. Let's see. And, you know, sometimes it's just very stuff. Yeah. Tech Nine says, I'm the sucker all these artists look up to. Yet for Tech, it's been the hardest to bust through. But I keep my fans fiending like Clucks do. You don't like how he livin', well... And then you have to fill in the blank. He doesn't say anything after that. And, you know, if you follow the rhyme pattern, up to, bust through, Clucks do, you don't like how he livin', well... I'm sure you can fill in the blanks / read between the lines there. And, you know, that was the first thing that came to mind for me anyways. And, you know, sometimes they do that. Hold on. You know what? Since we're still at the intermission. Maximu? No. No. Keep working on it. It rhymes with clucks do. Just as Mr. Grimwood had predicted, the discourse became more turbulent in the second half of the conference. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith continued to raise question after biting question, each one aimed at Crossbell's security and future. As the conversation wore on, the looks on Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell's faces became even more sullen and stern. And it's very odd. You're assuming because it was in direct relation to the president at the time. Mosh did take shots at Bush. There's a good example of that with Eminem actually on Tone Deaf, and that's why they say I got more lines than Black Friday, to save that for the dang library. Hard to tell who censored it, researching it right now. Okay. Cockatoo? Keep trying. The heart of the problem is that a lone cult was able to cause so much public disorder in a single night, no less. Moreover, half of Crossbell's state guard fell under their control, quite literally, at that. Such a failure of security is unprecedented. Be that as it may, I was under the impression that we had already covered this in full detail. The details are not what is in question. It is the quality of your state's crisis management that so concerns us. You cannot deny the extent to which that incident endangered the lives and property of Imperial citizens in your borders. What do you have to say to that? Now hold on just a moment, Chancellor. Reparations and redresses in the wake of the cult incident have already been administered. Demanding further mirror on top of that will only serve to cast Erebonian in the most unfavorable light. Monetary compensation is not the issue either, Your Highness. The Crossbell state government has still yet to answer how it can comprehensively guarantee its security. There is a need to protect the lives, property, and economic interest of all those tied to Crossbell. Can such protection truly be assured from a state constantly mired in political gridlock, a state so susceptible to top-down corruption? Pardon me, but I'd heard former Speaker Hartman was immediately removed from office upon his corruption coming to light. Crossbell's political system has proven perfectly capable of self-correction. Would a new security framework not suffice? Must disagree, Your Lordship. Surely you don't believe it would be that easy. Crossbell's political foundation is prone to corruption by nature. I, of course, acknowledge that Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell have been nothing less than outstanding statesmen. But what will happen to Crossbell when they're gone? How quickly would things regress without their leadership? The way this meeting is going right now, fills in so many contextual holes for Dieter Croy right now for me. I apologize for my cynicism here, but corruption and government have long been inalienable. This is true not only for Crossbell, but of my own kingdom as well. Taking that into consideration, would it not be best for us to observe whether the Speaker and Mayor can bring about political reform during their terms? Pardon me for saying so, Your Highness, but I believe that is rather naive of you. I understand why you would be hopeful. However, the state of Crossbell cannot be so easily compared to a monarchy such as Liberl. Undermining the political system of a land that has no central or traditional authority is a simple feat. History has proven that time and again. That may be true, but if I may, my native Calvard is founded upon our Honorable Republic Charter in lieu of a monarchy. It was an impressive undertaking by various powers and groups that gathered after our revolution 100 years ago. With that charter in place, our country knows our system can survive with dignity, even if it, too, may at times be stricken with corruption. Well, if Calvar really is the United States, I'm going to have to disagree with that. The political system is kind of a hot mess. And, the people that created the charter definitely did not think that the things that are happening today would happen today. Or else they would have probably did a more comprehensive charter. Give it time, Rocksmith. Give it time. So you say, but it is not as though our autonomous state law isn't without its own pride and honor. I'll concede that in our state's young history, imperfections in its design have come to light. But so too is it indisputable that we have been improving upon it slowly but surely. Mr. Grimwood, may I ask, how many additional laws and amendments have been passed by Crossbell's government in the last 10 years? But of course, while I don't have the exact figure in front of me, I would estimate 50 in total. Only 50 in 10 years? Why, how can that be? That's an average of just 5 a year. Perhaps, though the rate has been trending upward in recent times. There were 12 laws passed last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, though admittedly, many of those were mere addendums to existing financial and orbital network provisions. Regardless, I think it's clear that we cannot assume a meaningful new security framework would be so promptly implemented. As I suspected, it would be wiser to seek alternative solutions in the interim. I agree wholeheartedly. I hadn't realized the two of you had become such close bedfellows. Perhaps you'd care to settle the territorial dispute over the Nord Highlands as well while you're at it. Point well taken, Your Highness. We'll have to leave discussing that matter for another day. Time is growing short, gentlemen. I'd advise we move on to another point of discussion. Very well then, as proposed by His Excellency, let us now review... Didgeridoo? No, it ain't that either. Come on, it's a little bit more simple than that. Because the line would not have worked if you said the legit word instead of softly censoring it and saying, shh, instead of you know what. Seems more like a pun than censoring, but you don't know what it sounds like, whether there's a bleep there. Pretty sure there's not a... If there is a bleep in We the Americans or whatever the song was, then I highly doubt that Eminem would bleep it. But again, like he has censored himself even on recent music. I think on Kamikaze he censored himself as well. Or maybe that was Music to Be Murdered By. But he's done it recently. So I would not put it past him to do it earlier in his career as well. This is bad. It's exactly what Mr. Grimwood warned us would happen. The Blood and Iron Chancellor and President Rocksmith are going knives out on Crossbell as we speak. Is there nothing the mayor or speaker can say in objection? Unfortunately, it's as they stated, Crossbellian state law has more than a few structural flaws. That's what makes it so difficult for my grandfather and Uncle Dieter to deny what they're saying. Maybe, but the major powers themselves were the ones who built those flaws into Crossbell during its founding 70 years ago. They have no right to use that against us to force their own agenda. Look at Lloyd, man. Lloyd is bringing the ruckus with that response. They scripted things to go down like this from the very beginning. As I've told you before, the discourse of the conference itself has nothing to do with us. Keep your heads on straight and see to it that we make it through the rest of the day. Right, sorry about that. Should we begin another patrol? In that case... First Division, this is Dudley. Emma has something. What? Oh, must have been an incident. The Red Constellation and Hayaway are both on the move. They've already shaken off our surveillance. No way. Are you serious? Settle down. This is nothing we weren't prepared for. Stay alert. I'll keep you posted if there are any further developments. Understood. Yes, that's right. We should begin by mobilizing our officers in reserve. So this is really gonna go down, huh? What the heck are they planning? Randy. Try to keep your cool, Randy. We know the Red Constellation wouldn't try to pull something here at the conference. Right, the brunt of the police force is protecting the entrance of the building. You don't suppose they're about to pick a fight with each other, now of all times, do you? Everything we've managed to figure out so far says that's unlikely. I beg your pardon? What's going on down there? Grandfather? Your Excellency, might I ask you to repeat yourself? I'm praying with every fiber of my being that I simply misheard you. I'll gladly say it as many times as you require. Disband the Crossbell Guardian Force. Then, in its place, station security forces from abroad permanently within the state. Wow. Osborne is wilding out right now. That is the most logical course of action. Please wait a moment. Surely you aren't forgetting the terms of the Non-Aggression Pact, Chancellor Osborne. Perish the thought. We agreed not to use force to solve disputes in or over Crossbell. This, however, is not an attempt at invasion. I merely state the obvious: a useless pseudo-military that loses control and threatens its own people's lives is better off dissolved. In practice, the Crossbell Guardian Force is inconsequential when placed before the Imperial or even Republican armies. The CGF's armored cars may as well be made of paper compared to a true tank. To say nothing of the drain on Crossbell and Mira they cost to maintain. Leave matters of state security to foreign military forces. That is the best and most cost-efficient solution for a mere autonomous territory. I would consider that far too radical an option. And just how would you propose these foreign military forces be designated? Do you, the Chancellor of Erebonia, plan on nominating an Imperial army? That'd be rather tone-deaf, historically speaking. I don't recall saying anything of the sort. But now that you bring it up, I am willing to forgive Crossbell's past transgressions and offer the Imperial Army's aid if necessary. It's a small price to pay for the sake of peace in Western Cimmeria, wouldn't you say? Settle down, everyone. There's no reason to get so worked up. I agree the Chancellor's proposal is a bit, shall we say, drastic. I do, however, share his opinion that the CGF leaves much to be desired. It is wholly inadequate when it comes to state security. Oh, what would you propose then? This is only a suggestion, but I would advise a mass reduction of the Guardian Force's numbers to start. In exchange, Calvard can assume responsibility for Tangren Gate, while Erebonia does the same for Belgard Gate. Wow. Yeah, that's if that's not an invasion, I don't know what is. That way, either army would be able to respond to emergencies statewide, whether they occur here in Crossbell City or otherwise. That's hardly an improvement, Mr. President. Even so, it is worth consideration. You're an impressive man, President Rocksmith. You managed to be an excellent statesman and leader, all while fending off staunch political opposition. Not compared to you, Chancellor. You're reforming an entire empire while suppressing the influence of disgruntled nobles. This can't be happening. I've heard enough. Might I remind you that there are more than 2 countries participating in this conference? Pardon me, Your Highness. The President and I may have gotten a bit sidetracked. Now that our discussion has progressed thus far, would you two mind giving us your opinions on the idea? Oh, man. This is terrible. Absurd is more like it. Takes some serious balls to spout any of this with a straight face. Hate to say it, but it's not as though their proposals don't have any basis. Still, I was hoping things wouldn't come to this. At this point, all we can do is hope the Speaker and Mayor can stand their ground. This is what you're saying, Tone Deaf was on music to be murdered by. Oh, okay, well there you go. Now of all times. Could be Dudley. In regards to We as Americans, based on what you've read so far, it looks like there are about 17 songs throughout Eminem's whole career that are censored no matter what. The FCC is responsible for that. Ah, okay. It's 100% true, all right, that music in the 90s, especially the 90s, had some real uproars, especially gangsta rap. So it doesn't surprise me that Eminem, coming out with his materials in the late 90s to early 2000s, Eminem was rapping about, what does Paul say on one of those skits, like Vicodin and hookers and things like that? So, and, killing his wife and stuff like that. It was a much different atmosphere, and it makes total sense that there would be a kind of a freak out moment there. But yeah, you know, in some ways it's good to be past that particular era in time. In other ways, it's kind of unfortunate. Manning's here. It's Sergey. Chief Sergey, what's going on? No time, I'll keep it short. Sonia just called me. The anti-aircraft radars installed near Tangrim and Belgard were destroyed. Same ones being used to detect any potential invading ships in cross-Bellin airspace. What? She suspects it was the work of the terrorists. I've already filled Deadly in. As for you guys, be careful and get ready. Roger that. What's wrong? Is it my uncle and the others? No, not them, it was. Please, everyone, may I have your attention? Regarding your concerns over Crossbell's domestic security, I would like to offer my own suggestion. Oh? I thought you'd been staying a little too quiet. Let's hear it. What do you propose? Thank you. I was thinking. Everyone get down. Airships. Videos preserve us. Is it the terrorists? How did they even get here? Be at ease, everyone. These windows are bulletproof tempered glass. Is tempered glass bulletproof? What do I know? I don't know. I didn't watch enough Mythbusters, I guess. But to be safe, I urge that you all back away from the window. Dang, they wanted to blast up everybody. Funny you should say that. Books have famously been censored or straight up banned in many schools or library scenarios, which is a terrible idea because art should never be censored. It takes away from the message. Huck Finn and even the graphic novel Bone have famously been banned. I feel like I recognize Huck Finn. Your Highness, are you all right? Yes, I'm fine. Those airships just now, one of them was a high-speed Rhineford model. Yes, I'm sure of it. The other was a Verne Company military gunship. Right, this aligns with the reports we received that one had been stolen. Is everyone all right? Yes, thank the goddess. But where did those fiends go? Good, you should all be able to hear me now. Attention, conference attendees. Allow me to introduce ourselves. We are the Imperial Liberation Front, and we represent the anti-immigration faction seeking to protect the traditions and sanctity of our beloved Calvard. How nice of them to be working together. Two terrorist groups from two totally different nations. I don't believe it. The two terrorist groups menacing the Empire and the Republic. Our causes have seen fit to form an alliance, such that we may topple the respective blights that plague us. Prepare yourself, Blood and Iron Chancellor Gileath Osborne. President Rocksmith, today you meet your end. To protect the time-worn heritage of our Calvard from the despicables of the East, we will stop at nothing. This is preposterous. Utter drivel. Yeah, but this ain't looking too good. Here they come. Yeah, they should just fly the airships in there. Now it's more okay to be openly violent. Good times. Yeah. Replace every instance of crap or poop with book from now on? Or reading? Gotta go reading? You meant swearing, but that's also funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there was that one skit where Paul was shot by Eminem, even though he was finally going to congratulate him on his achievements. And on relapse 7 years later, Paul has another skit where he has resorted back to his grumpy, cynical old self and decides to threaten M with a gun to get him to leave his office without even listening to the CD. Yeah, the Paul and Eminem skits, those are very, very well known and like repeated throughout the whole Eminem catalog. Iconic, I think, is where I was going with that. They're headed straight for us. Darn it. So this is what those blueprints were for. But never mind that. Contact the CGF unit on standby and have them... What? What the... Why did it just close? What in the world is going on here? Not good. The button isn't responding. What in Adios's name is going on? How's a girl supposed to chase a headline like this, huh? Do something, Rhines. Rhines? Now what do you expect me to do? Huck Finn was the sequel to Tom Sawyer? I feel like I read Tom Sawyer. Probably a requirement in school. This is far from ideal. Orcus Tower's security system must be under their control. This is likely the work of the hacker from yesterday. Let's move, everyone. Head to the 35th floor. We have to protect the dignitaries. Roger that. Chances are the elevator's out. We're gonna have to head for the emergency stairs. Thought so. All three are locked down. Unless we retake control of the building, we won't be able to use the elevators. So even if we manage to bust through the shutters, the actual thing still wouldn't work. Forget it, let's find the emergency stairs. I've got other things to be doing. See if Osborne left a parting gift for us. And Bone is a series of fantasy graphic novels about these bone-like cartoon characters in hyper-realistic Lord of the Rings type environment, surrounded by tons of mystical beasts and evil demons. Very, very interesting. Honestly, one of your favorite comics of all time. You own the complete omnibus. Or omnibus, however you're supposed to pronounce it. Imagining cavemen censoring each other's art by smearing over them. Yeah, something like that. I imagine they would just start chipping away at them. What? But it was open just a moment ago. Tio, can you work your magic? I'll do what I can. Theo connected an orbital cable to the shutter's control panel. She just happened to be carrying a laptop with her at all times. It was trickier than I expected, but it's nothing I can't handle. It opened. Teotot comes in clutch yet again. Hardly, the security lock on this gate wasn't particularly complex. Well, now that it's been breached, the security on the other exits will likely be heightened. I may not be able to do this for all of them. Sounds like this security system has more than a few aces up its sleeves. Worry about that later. We've got to move. This is completely off topic, but have you played or watched the Fate series? I have seen a little bit of one of the Fate animes. Stay Night is the one that comes to mind, but I don't know if it was that one. Now, smoke out the Chancellor. You'll have to get through me first. Divine Blade of Wind. Hold your ground, attack in waves. We're here to help. You three fall back. We're in your debt. Mueller, Vander. a guardian of the Arnor family, in the Liberlian Royal Guard. It doesn't matter. Take them down. Pew pew! Look at that. Show-offs. I think we can leave that group to them. Oh, hey guys. Lecter. Are the dignitaries alright? Yeah, for now anyway. Save the talking for later. They're coming from behind, too. What? Reinforcements. Something's coming this way. Oh, archaisms. What are those? They're just like the ones we fought at the Mafia's hideout. Never mind that. Suppress them. Now, of course, Lloyd would say suppress them. Hey, starting off with a team rush. Okay, pretty nice. This might be my time to actually eat some of this burrito. Let's see if I can get my opportunity. Get a bite in it. Currently 1:30. Alright, well, there goes my opportunity. Currently 1:30 and I have not eaten a dang thing. I feel like my burrito's already gone cold. Probably already has. So they have archaisms too. They likely came in from the roof. Aren't those things made by the Society though? The terrorists could have acquired them from the black market, or perhaps... What's the matter? Or what's it matter? Look over there. The archaisms weren't the only ones stopped in their tracks. They're all monsters. No other choice. Engage Plan B. Stun grenade. Get back. Yeah, just lock them in here and they'll starve to death in like, give it a week. Maybe they'll start eating each other. It's closed. Getting through by force would be a tall order. Everyone... I was wondering where you were. Nice job pushing them back with their tails between their legs. Maybe, but they're going to escape at this rate. Can you get it open to you? I don't know for sure, but I can try. It's like I feared, the security level has been increased to maximum protection. I'm unable to bypass it on a portable terminal, even if I use the Aeon system. Not good. Talk to me. Yes, we managed to hold out, but unfortunately they... What? They're taking the elevator to the basement. Right this second? To the basement. They didn't go back up to their airship on the roof. Stop and think why they wouldn't. They could be trying to detonate orbital bombs they placed on board those ships. What? Might be right. If that's the case, then they're aiming to bury the Chancellor and President with the building itself. No surprise terrorists would go to such lengths. Those fools. Well, this is a pickle. There's no way around it. We have to get through this shutter, even if it's by brute force. Wait. We may not have to resort to that after all. What? Oh wow, look who it is. You're the spitwad who trashed my place. I'll get you for that. You'll rue the day you crossed Yona Sacred. Feisty, aren't you? So this is what the cyberspace looks like. Release the controls to the tower at once. Boy, I guess you've got me cornered. Fine, fine. This was just a little time killer anyway. I've had my fun. Good luck, boys and girls. Do your best not to bite the big one. What the? Ignore him. Focus on getting the tower back under control. Holy frame rate? Yeah, the bit rate really went down there. Yona, did he come back too? So it would seem. He must have taken today's flight from Le Mans. Done. Now restoring tower control systems. I need the mark. Can I mark, please? You did it! Can we use the elevators, too? Yes, I disengaged the locks. However, we have no control over the one the terrorists are using. In that case, I'll head to the roof. If anyone is to disarm the orbital bombs on board their ship, it'll have to be me. You can do that, Kilika. But of course, it's a skill any counterintelligence officer worth their weight would have. Isn't that right, Secretary Arundel? Would you say we split the work? Sure, might as well. Then allow me to accompany you there. There's a chance they may have left archaisms behind to protect the bombs. The rest of you should pursue the terrorists. You may still be able to catch them. Understood. Mannings, your group is coming with us. These are the there are two cells of terrorists we're dealing with. We'll likely need to split up. Roger that. Aye, aye, sir. Hold on, I need to squeeze some lime over this. Probably have to go put this back in the microwave at this rate. My goodness. Yes, right. Understood. We can make do with what we know. Good work, Yona. I'll speak to you again later. What did Yona have to say? He analyzed the terrorist escape route. They fled to the geofront. Oh no. Via Orcus Tower's foundation level. By foundation, you mean the basement of the tower, right? It must lead to who knows how many sectors of the geofront. That won't stop us from capturing those fanatics. I refuse to let them get away and sully the name of the Crossbell Police Department any further. My sentiments exactly. I attended this international conference as a representative of the guild, and now they've assailed it right before my eyes. As a bracer, I cannot let this stand. We're going to capture them, there's no doubt in my mind. Though I'd probably be less nervous if it weren't for those bombs ticking away on the roof. I'm sure Kilika and Lecter will be able to handle it. After all, they have Senior Captain Schwarz and Major Vander to back them up. Seriously, that's a real all-star bomb squad we got up there. We, on the other hand, are going a heck of a way down, aren't we? Yes, from floor 35 to floor B8, or I think that said B8. Could have been 88, but I think it was B8. What do you know? The SSS is taking on Crossbell's underbelly for real now. A friend of yours is trying to get you into it since it has to do with a lot of historical... Oh, don't fall behind. Time is of the essence. We'll go on ahead. You'd think they'd been waiting their whole lives for this moment. We should hurry along ourselves. Right. All right. It's time to save and mark. And take this opportunity to, eat a little bit of this burrito that's definitely gone cold. Just a bite, then I'll eat while we're in combat. But again, I haven't eaten anything